kind of an idea of base, right? We're all standing relaxed right now. And, you know, I'll quote Adrian, he once said this, you know, base or stance, you know, training martial arts, striking, you might call it a stance. You know, that he said, my stance is not something I fight in, it's something I fight through, right? I don't fight in my stance, I fight through my stance, right? So think about, like when I think about that statement, I'm like, okay, that means there's distribution of weight, right? I think there's like back stances in Muay Thai, or in your traditional martial arts, so a back stance, right? We'll see kind of some linkages and similarities there, but just a lot of the standing defense against whether it's a front headlock guillotine attempt, side, or from the back, is going to involve base. We're just going to call it base, okay? And we'll talk about instead of back stance, front stance, middle stance, distribution of weight. We'll be shifting our weight. That's it, okay? So I like to call these body wiring drills. It's a term from a friend of mine. Taylor? Right. Okay, so first let's just understand this idea and just stay relaxed, right? Here, see how I made you do that? Okay. So bring your weight forward into the balls of your feet. Right, now I can lean everything forward and a little less, go back to about where you were, right? Yeah. That way if I move my hands off your shoulders, you don't fall, right? So it's a simple, like it could be a push defense, right? Go ahead and push my shoulders, right there, right? And then I can clear that. But this is just the distribution of weight side of what we're gonna do today. So forward, good, back to normal. Okay, think about this, we lie on this way. Yeah, keep me engaged. Right, so here, instead of just dropping your legs straight, yeah, that's good. Right, just a little bit from me. Wait, there you go, there you go. So, instead of this down, I want to go down and back. You feel how I'm sitting on your thigh? Okay. So push my chest here. Right? Just that. Right? From here, push my side. Right? I can clench after this. Okay? So if I'm here, right? With judo, the last thing you ever want to do, and I did judo all coming up, is get your feet crossed, right? And there's sometimes when it looks like you might be doing that to enter a throat, but it's not the same as if someone made you do it and you're off balance, okay? Now, so drop your weight down. Good. Now, that's the down part. Now kind of make your hips go back on my thigh. Yes. Lean forward a little bit. Yes. You do not feel like you look. Like you say, you don't feel like you look. When this guy's smaller hands, to be able to pick him up. And then that's the thoughts you're making your opponent, right? I want to make everything inefficient for you, right? I want to push you, and I do it again, it makes you tired. You don't move, right? You think this is making him tired? Okay, so let's work on this base, and we'll real quickly add on to that. Okay, 1, 2. Oh, let's get into this. The headlock part, right? Kind of why we're here. Okay, so this is the idea I'm going to be dealing with this first part of the symbol. Okay, sometimes people call this the bully headlock, right? I used to have an uncle that would put me here and do this to me. Okay, not fun. But there's a famous UFC fight. Ben Askren versus Robbie Lawler.
Seen that.
Right? Exactly. It's a great footnote to this lesson because the ref called it. Robbie Lawler immediately was like, oh, I'm fine. But here's the thing. I'm putting all my body weight on his spinal cord when I do this. So what a great spot to learn how to be safe. Right? We don't want anybody to drop their weight on our spinal cord. Later, that ref or being clarified, he's like, hey, I wasn't worried about him getting choked unconscious. I was worried about him being paralyzed, right? So it made all the sense in the world, but you just thought it was he went out, but he's not out. But no, he's just saving, basically, right? It's like kind of a neck crank. If he kept pulling, the guy wouldn't tap and he'd break your neck. So We don't want to get pulled down, that's the first thing. So let's find our base, okay? So you grab me and pull me down. See, no, good. So like what we're gonna do is kind of start a drill where I come up and I start trying to pull him down like this, right? Start trying to pull me down. So what I want to do is, see that? So how do I stop that from happening without straining, right? One timing. As soon as somebody grabs your neck, I'm trying to connect this shoulder to the back of him, and then here. Okay? So think about, this is going back, right? Look at the place of my feet here. This hip's here, or this foot's here, and this foot's here. Right? So I've got the hip bone on the other side, right? So now try and pull me down. Kind of like, the harder you do it, the more I get to pick you up. Okay? So yeah, pull really, lift your feet up. Lift them straight up. Okay? But how you were going back with your feet too, it's a good test because if you lift them up, you probably can't maybe go backwards either. Right? But it's just posture, okay? And look, this looks like our horse stance, or our square stance. Right? So it's just face down. So this is normal posture, defensive posture. Okay? So if he grabs my head and starts trying to pull me down, here. Okay? Now if I'm standing this upright, pull me down. It's going to be hard. And I'll show a technique today when you get your head pulled down, it's going to happen. We've got a move for that. Okay? So let's let you fight. Okay? So I'm coming in here. Throw that leg behind my leg. Good. Okay, go around my body. Hip bone. Good. Now that feels very strong. Think about this. I feel your shoulder back here, but think about it connecting to my back. Yes, that feels very strong. Okay? So let's get our foot. We got that one that way. Make this one go this way. Good. Hit connect with your hip too. And your shoulder. Good. There you go. Good. Okay, got it one more time. Right? And you see, I'm not using all my strength. I gave up on that approach a long time ago. It made you wear out. Right? Like, older you get doing this, the more efficiency becomes like a major part of there. I'm only 36. So my body feels a little older from all that other stuff I was talking about earlier. Alright, so find that base. Coming up, get the pull down. Yes. Good. Up. Yes. This is what we call side clinch. Right? Like you'll be here over under position. Trying to get to the side. That's a goal when I grapple. It's like I'm clinching, no DD, doesn't matter. I'll try and get to the side like that. So somebody comes up, pulls your head down, find your base posture. Make sense? Let's do it one more. Okay. I'm going to talk about strike defense. Who wants to get punched in the face? Yeah, I get it. I understand. Me too, kind of. I really used to a lot more. It's weird. I used to, like, key people I hang out with, one of them yesterday. In a conversation, he couldn't reason with why somebody we trained with didn't enjoy getting punched in the face. What do you mean? Right? It's our good friend Nate Murdoch. But, so look, I want to collect the arm here. Right? I used to think this was superior. You know, in like freestyle wrestling, I can't take you down, but with the arm like this, you fall on your shoulder and hurt your shoulder more. Okay? So I was like, if they made a rule, it must be really good to punch straight down the floor. It's not good. Now start punching me in the face. Right? So, here. When I get in the side clinch, I want to collect here and here. Okay? Now look at how this foot's here and this foot's here, right? And now I'm going to change that. Now this foot's here and this foot's here, right? Just like it got the same type of base, right? I grip here, right at the wrist, and I'm going to punch down and I'm going to connect that to my chest. See how he's up on his tippy toes? That's because we're walking to the door, sir. Right? But you can, like I've jacked one of our big old purple belts up in that, right? And he will. Jokingly escorted him out of the gym one day at noon class, right? But thing is, here, boom, collect this. And this is based off they're hitting you. So they don't have the hands together if they're hitting you. Okay? Now let's say you didn't get to react. He starts hitting. Oh, sorry. I'm like, you're good. We'll strike in it. Palm heel. Don't have to worry about breaking your hand with palm heel strikes as much. Right? And then lift here. Cool. Now, get my stance. Open it. Here. Put this on your chest. That's the kind of key detail. So when I stand up, here. Okay? Then it's a wrist / shoulder walk. Probably doesn't feel awesome, right? You're like, okay, yeah, we'll go over there. Right? So, but guys, the big detail on that is like, I have to connect your hand to me. I don't want to just hold your hand and hope that I'm able to get it locked in before. I want to have it connected. I need to get behind you. That's when it's going to have that submission wrenching effect. Okay, so that's the defense against strikes. And then we'll do a couple of throws after we get this down. All right? Let's do it 1, 2. Here's the thing. I feel like I might go flex in front of the group and pick you up and start you on the ground. I feel like I could also work with you for 10 minutes and you will be doing that to me. Just the way off of what things will be done. I don't want to do that to those two. Right? Like I look around there, you shorter than me too. So lower center gravity, harder to pick up. I was like, So you can't pick everyone up. Just the moral of the story.
I can get you.
Huh.
Hey, I like that. You got the low center gravity, so you're confident. But this is for somebody that you might not be able to pick up. Maybe you could and you don't want to. Right? Okay, yeah, I'm the person, this strategy, I could just slam right here or whatever. There's a couple of lifting techniques. With this, it's a total opposite. If you're heavy, I'm not gonna try to pick you up. We're gonna pull you down. So when I'm here, right, and I've got this base where my hips are here, not here. What I'm gonna do here. Right now. Okay? We're going to hang on to that in a second, and it's going to be something we do every escape we do this whole time. Okay, here. So, drop your weight down. I don't want to pick you up, even though I'm the bigger guy, right? So I'm like, okay, we're going down. In judo, this does have a name. It's called uki utoshi, and it means floating drop, right? I float your body to the ground, right? So here, I feel that you have a strong base. So I hook under and I step back, and it makes you sit down. Think, because you have a strong base, it's like, remember earlier I was talking about, it's like I'm sitting on your thigh in a sense. Yeah. It's like you're sitting on my thigh in a sense. So if I move my thigh, it goes back. Kind of simple, right? So, even it has a traditional background with the judo, right? But drop throw, do with a partner, find base, feel that they're heavy, you want to pick them up, hook the leg, and I'm pulling that hip bone, try to drop back. Make sense? Yes, sir. Step 1, 2. When I'm getting pulled down, right? I'm here, I need to step this leg back, going his hip bone to the floor, and spin. Hold on, my head is open. I'm going to post and post. Hang out. And I'll tell you, I even have a sore neck today. Right? But to get out of headlocks, you don't do, you pull my head. You don't go away. You go in. So, see that? I went forward and down. I didn't pull away. Here. Post next to his head and slide the knee up to wedge behind the head. Now, I need to step over his head. I do this so he can't put his back on the floor. So I need to step over his head. So leaning to the side makes this leg light. Now, I see his thumbs there, and I catch it. Into the leg. Okay? If you don't have the thumb, you can do this instead. Right? Where he runs out of it. If you have the thumb, he tries to turn. It's not going to work. Okay, then I can look for the finish. So here, he pulls the head down, I'm getting into this. And looking for my throw, he holds onto the head even when we go down. Don't pull away. As you go over, go in. Here. See that leg's already light. Here it's not light. Here it's light. And it's behind his head, so he can't put his back on the floor. Go. Into the leg. Drop that. He's holding onto the head even after. A lot of times after I sweep someone from half guard with this one sweep, knee tap, they'll do this. So here, boom. Post, shift your weight. Here. That make sense? Sure. So 1, 2. But, sometimes you're going to get your head pulled out, right? When that happens, right, when you're pulling my head down like this, what I do is I step inside. I pull the hips, right, and I'll brace here. And look, we're in the same spot. It's the same spot we're going to end up in a lot today, right? Like I mentioned, I do a half guard sweep. And always when I sweep somebody, they end up like this, so they're like, I'm just gonna grab his. That will stop him for a second, and then I'll figure out what to do. So it's just like such a beneficial thing to become, right? And then to understand, like what this sort of stuff taught me is you be really tight with your hands like this, but without my hand. Because he's super strong. But if I can start making his arms go up like this, everybody understands we're not strong. That's how all the shoulder locks work, right? It's getting the arm out away from the body, taking the slack out, right? So we want to do that to break headlocks. So watch his shoulders. Okay? See, everything's down tight. But when I start going up, where his arms at? Okay? Sometimes I'll just finish this from here. Belly down. So, let's change the order of operations here. So, put me in this position, but be on your hip. Yes. This is what I was talking about with headlock on the ground. Okay? Not a cool spot to be in. He does not have my arm. He just has my head with both hands. Okay? What things people can do from here is they can pull your head up. Right? Just like lean back and pull my head up. That does not feel good. Right? Like, I can tolerate it because I do jiu-jitsu and I'm used to stuff like that, right? But, so we never want to be on our back here. We want to be on our side here. This defends against strikes. And then the next thing we want to do is tuck our chin, okay? Once I tuck my chin, one more detail. Shoulders are coming up, right? Now it's like before he was grabbing onto, you have these things in your neck here that run down. Those are called your occipitals, right? Like those. So right now you're over my occipitals, and they have been sore this week. So I want to make you be grabbing like my skull. You know, in boxing, you don't want to hit people here because you'll break your hand, right? So I'm going to make it to where he's grabbing around the hard parts of my head versus my arteries, my ears, and stuff like that won't be as, you know, kind of that's like the line about like the bottom of your ears. I want to get everything up above that. So the shoulders are going up, my head's going down, like almost like a turtle putting its head in its shell here. Okay, now that's like ground zero. Now from here, I want to push my arm out and create a frame. Okay, look how that made his hand go. Grip again, please. So look, like this. Now I haven't got connection with this. Now I do. See, let go. Okay, so what we're going to do is if they let go, great. I'm going to hit back. I'm going to come up. I'm going to come over. There's my arm. Okay, so remember, I do not want to be on my back here. I'm going to turn on, get on my side here. Okay? Head's got to be down without, because I'm talking to y'all, and my shoulders need to be going this way. There. See, that's way more around my head now. Now I'm framing out here and here. And I'm hip escaping backwards. Okay? Here is already like, oh, so it's like I got side control or whatever. Right? So continue on the same path with the arm. Every time. This thumb detail is super important. It just takes the escapes. One of the main escapes, the first one I ever learned was that style arm bar. Where you type out, okay, good. All right. So it's a big thing. We lay down here and walk into this. So turn yourself. Okay. Now you'll never be strong against what I'm doing with the arm here. So, like, bring your elbow out. See, that's going to be way strong. Bring this here, grab your own hand, frame, yes, like grab your wrist. Yes. Okay, now, so I got here. I want you to find that elbow against the mat and push me back. Good. Now start hipping away. Hipping away. Good. See, I held onto his head. What do you know what to do if I hold onto his head? Post and post. So you can get your head up and then go over an arm bar anyway. Break the headlock like we did earlier. So step over the mat. There you go. Lean up into my head. Boom. Good. That's it. Nice. So it's the same ending. This is the takedown. And that alternate takedown. Right? So with this, that frame detail though, I've done this for years and years and years, and that was one of the new ones from Guillotine. This is not the same as this. And let's do it text. Stand up. Put both your hands on my palm. Stand right here. Put both your hands on my palm. Do push-ups. Like kick your feet up. Okay? So look how strong that is. I'm just going to sit here and talk to you guys until he's done. You just stop me. Good. But look how strong that is. Now, try that again. Right? I'm like, hey, well, I gotta move. I can't be strong in that position. Right? So, but that's the difference. Like this feels like a normal frame. Like I would frame this way under now, but in this headlock, I gotta get my elbow up. It's like a kickstand. And you saw how strong that was when I did that. Strong enough that any one of us in here could do a set of 10%. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I know you do. We do that in our world. If I'm going to do something like this, with that frame, because I use it under mountain everywhere. Okay? So let's work on that for a couple minutes. All right, 1, 2. So there's a series of options based off what you're doing. You're not always going to be able to find the legs, right? I know maybe some of y'all, I was going with you, it's like, oh man, you're bigger than me, it's harder to find the leverage, right? So that's the first thing we did, we find the leverage. If you can't find it, there's other things to do, okay? So keep in this position again. So I'm on my side, so let me, thank you, not here. Now, what will happen with this is you'll be putting, I can sometimes come over and grab this leg, but put your knees together. And then put your head down. She's not giving me anything I want. Okay, so in this instance, what I want to do is I want to bridge here. Try to stay on your base, please. Okay, yeah, again, he's up good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to base, and I'm going to pull back and turn. Back on this arm. You guys, where you just kind of incidentally discovered that, right? Sometimes that's what you got to go for. For me, this one is like, they're bigger than me. I can't find the basic one. There's 2 more I teach in between before I go to this one. So this is like the last one, I'm just kind of going to the last one, right? But this is when all the other options have been taken off the table. He kind of, when he got down, he had his leg here. If it's here, I can hook it and I can do it too. Kind of have his leg here, that's a maybe at that point. try and make him put his leg up or whatever, but I don't want to rely on that. Sometimes people are just going to be hugging me. What they did is like this. You didn't know the sacrifice throw because we had no minutes for time, right? So what they did is force me down like that. And they're just, and they're just balled up. Okay? So when this is happening, right, what I want you to do is think about reaching in front of your knees. I'm gripping it this way. Yeah, see, that made me put my hand on that. Now do your knees. Put your hand. Good. Now grab my palm right there. Now, pull backward and turn. Yes. And I'm here, I still got his head, and I'm gonna hold on to it. This one's just gonna descend. Same way we've been doing the whole time, right? Go to the mount, yeah, lean forward, boom. Nice. Okay? So, raising and coming to our knees, right? So before, the last technique, here's what I do. I hips out, and I came to my knees. This one, I'm bridging, like I can't get anything, so I go here. Boom. Ace, you pull them down. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, last technique for this portion, all right? Headlock escape stuff I was going to do. Right, so the second throw that I mentioned, okay? Are there any questions on the side of the throw? I'm just going to, like the throw, I'm just going to show this and then we'll take a quick break, okay? This is one I, like in the middle that I usually show. I usually show a variation of the very first one, and the one we just did, this is the last one, where I come up to my knees like that. They're giving me nothing, I have to bridge and come up to my knees. This one I did incorrectly forever, and I still made it work sometimes, right? But the difference was the details changing that I'm gonna go over that made it start making sense, right? So, with this one, the leg is up. Okay, so he's giving me that. So here's what I used to say. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull with my, push with my leg there, kind of stomp away, and then maybe I'll add this too. And you know what you're doing? Twice as much is going into your neck. So he's already pulling my neck, and then I'm like, here, let me make you pull my neck a little more, and a little more. So you're at 3 levels of getting your neck pulled. It's not that. Watch. It's this leg going this way. And it's me going that way. Like I was bridging to go up to my knees before. Okay? So here, it's like opposites. Boom, we're done. That shoulder locks you if you're not careful. But that's kind of the theme. It's like you have to let go. Because if you don't, like, it hurts. Right? And then face plant maybe too, so sorry about that. But forever I was like, I'm gonna use my leg to peel this person down off my head. And sometimes their grip will work. I bet your grip will not work. I bet if we're rolling, you're like, let go. I'm not letting go. I'm gonna use my, and that's the thing, you know what? Like, I've seen untrained people never spin it down. I never knew what to turn it would go, and they're gonna grab you that way, right? And that's, again, the beginning of the seminar, it's like, that's a component, right? If you want to stay doing martial arts forever, like I used to hear Dream talk about this stuff all the time. And I got into my 30s and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it, right? So that's that. Let's do a real quick group kick, and then we'll get a drink and we'll change gears and do front headlock.